All right, guys.
Any significance to the hat, Darian, or just sitting in the closet?
Sitting in the closet. Just sitting in the closet. I need a haircut.
Well, Darian, quick turnaround here, but look at Virginia. Obviously, a very athletic team. What do you see on film there?
A very good team, very fast, physical. Obviously, going to be a hostile environment when we travel over there to the East Coast, and we're going to start getting ready for them today, and we'll be ready by the time the game comes.
It's obviously not a team you run across ever, and
Right.
totally outside the country. Have you been tracking them the last year or so just to have some idea what you're facing, or do you just turn on the film this week and it's a surprise? Or
Yeah, I catch them on TV every now and then, but it hasn't been something that I've really been focusing on, really thinking about. But I mean, now that it's game week and they're here, I'll get in the film room and start focusing on them now.
You guys might have been in the hotel maybe when they were playing Notre Dame. Did you catch any of that game? Or?
Yeah, close game.
Yeah.
It was a real good game, both teams, and we watched it for as much as we could before we had to travel on to our own game. But I mean, they're a good team, so.
It seems like you guys have had kind of one of these games where you travel out to the East Coast for the last few years. Is it kind of fun to break things up and go out and kind of play in a unique environment?
It definitely is unique. It's different. I mean, time change to say the least. It's just a different area out there, and I think guys really like it. It's different, and we have fun. So it'll be a good trip for the team, and we're all looking forward to it, and it'll be a good game.
What do you do for 5 hours on a plane?
Sleep.
What stands out about Virginia with what you've seen? Are there a couple things that you see as strengths that sort of rise to the top?
When I watch them, the thing that stands out the most to me is just the athleticism. They're very athletic. They know how to make plays, get the ball in space, and things like that. So, like I said, we're gonna go ahead this week and watch the film and game plan and things like that. So we'll be ready by the time the game comes.
Taking nothing away from Idaho State. I mean, when you're playing an FCS team, I know you guys had to shut up, but how do you kind of look back at a game like that, and what can you take from that? And do you have to weigh that it was an FCS team when you're kind of looking at how you did? Or?
No, we didn't think about it as being an FCS team. We thought about the Boise State Broncos coming off of a loss and what we have to do ourselves, in order to get back on track, in order to get the momentum running again. And so we're just focusing on ourselves last game, and we weren't really worried about the opponent too much. Just as long as we corrected the mistakes we made the game prior, then we were going to be all right.
You guys feel like you did correct those mistakes? I mean, for the most part, you guys kind of quarterback kept them contained in the pocket, and in terms of throwing downfield, you guys didn't really allow anything.
Right. Yeah, for the most part we did, but I mean, in the game of football, there's always going to be mistakes that you have to go back and correct. This game, they were a little bit smaller than the game prior, so I mean, they weren't very noticeable, but I mean, there's always some stuff to correct, and we'll get back in the field room and do that.
It seemed to me that in the game against Idaho State, that they had some really good receivers coming in.
Yeah.
But every time they caught the ball, it seemed like there was somebody there ready to make a tackle. Was that a point of emphasis?
Oh, definitely. You always want to be around the ball, especially dropping back in coverage, whether you're a defensive back or a linebacker. I mean, the play call is designed for you to be in the spot, and when the ball gets there, we need somebody there, so it's not a touchdown. So I believe we did a good job with that last game, and we're just going to keep on focusing on it and get ready for next week.
Going back to Virginia, it seems like, for you, a guy like you, the challenge with them is it seems like they have a lot of options. A lot of receivers can get involved. Their running back catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. It seems like too. What's a challenge like that for a defense when they can do that, not just a bunch of receivers, but just every position?
Everybody, right. That just means everybody on the defense has to do their job. I mean, it's not going to be one person that's making every single play. You have to hunt in packs. Everybody has to be in their assigned spot and just make the play when it comes to them.
They had some struggles against William and Mary the other day. I mean, do you just kind of throw that one out, or look at the ones when they played UCLA and Notre Dame, or how do you kind of look at their game the other day?
I mean, it happens. We had struggles too. It's not taking anything away from them or taking anything away from us. I mean, in this game of football, it could be anyone's day, any Saturday, and they're a great team. So we're not as a team gonna look at that game like, oh, it was a close one or this or that. We're gonna look at them as Virginia. We're gonna focus on what they do, their tendencies and things like that, not the score, and just get ready for ourselves and to go against them.
When you guys make these East Coast trips, you leave early and have an extra day. How do you use that time on the road? And is that a challenge at all, that all of a sudden you've got more time away from home than you used to?
Right. The guys do a good job on getting the film and everything's set up there. Since we are there an extra day, we have more time to prepare, and we're kind of away from all the distractions because we're there in our hotel, preparing for the game. And we get there a day early, I think, due to the time change. Give us a little while to get used to it, and I like it so far. I mean, all the times that I've traveled over there, it's been good, and we'll be ready.
What do you see of Jonathan Moxley so far this year? Is that a really good start to the season? So.
He's been doing a great job. One thing about Moxley, he's a competitor. Every single snap, every play. I mean, he loves the game. You guys can see that. He's just ready to go to compete, and it doesn't matter who he's lining up against. He's going to give it his all.
You kind of been there, obviously, for his kind of upbringing or whatnot on the football field. How has his confidence and aggressiveness and all that stuff kind of helped him become a better player, and how's it developed?
Right, like you said, I think the confidence is the biggest thing. I mean, year after year, he keeps on continuing to get better and better, and I think that has to do with the gain of confidence, the gain of experience that he has. I mean, he's able to play more aggressive now and not second think things, and he's been doing a great job for us. I mean, we love him out there at that spot, and he's going to continue to make plays.
I know that we talked about the corner before, but what does it mean when you do have two reliable guys out there when you're kind of rotate line up next to him? What does it mean when you know you can kind of really lean on him and his experience and whatnot? I
mean, as a safety, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, to know for a fact that the guy on the side of you is doing his job, I mean, it just takes pressure off of you and off the other guys on the defense, so you can relax and just play your game.
Why has the team been so stout against the run?
I mean, I feel like we have depth. We have really good depth at the D-line and linebacker position. I mean, our front seven they're all experienced. I mean, they're all very talented, and they know how to make plays.
You guys go from playing, maybe the least athletic team you play all year to maybe the most athletic. Is there an adjustment period that when that game starts, or can you make that switch without noticing it?
I mean, it just goes back to doing what we're supposed to do. I mean, it doesn't really matter who we're going to play against. I mean, we have great coaches, great game plan, and they'll get us ready for the game. So we just have to, rely on them, rely on what we do and our experiences, and just play football like we play football.
I know that each individual game has its own importance, but at the same time, going on the road, playing a school from another conference, is this a chance for you guys to obviously build a little momentum in your season?
Oh, definitely it is. I mean, every game is, to be honest. Last week was BYU was a chance for us to gain momentum going into the season. I mean, every game is, and this is one that's going to be exciting for us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a big game. Friday night, I think it's their first Friday night game that they've ever had. I know it's going to be electric there, and we're excited to go in there.
But you guys, just the overall feeling with the quarterback position. I mean, it asks because you're a senior, you've been here for a while, and I know it's only been a couple days since the game. You guys probably haven't done too much since, but just trying to get a little stability over there. The overall mood or whatnot of the team right now is kind of search for an answer, I guess.
Yeah, the team is fine. The team is going to be okay. The coaches, they know what they're doing. They'll handle it correctly, and all we can do is just play our part. So we trust in them that they're going to make the right decision and they're going to do what's best for the team, and that's about as far as we go.
Kind of going back to after the game, Tanner said that you pointed out that obviously Brett made some great strides since the moment he got on campus, and honestly didn't know if he'd be in a position to be able to play this season, but pointed to those great strides. What have you seen out of Brett? Would you agree with Tanner in that assessment?
Oh, definitely. He looked nice when he was out there on the field last week, and he was making plays. But I mean, so was Tommy. So, our quarterback situation is not a big worry for any of us. I mean, we have guys that can go out there and make plays that are coached well, and when it's their time, that they're going to go in there and they're going to play their hearts out. So I think we'll be all right in that situation. I mean, like I said before, the coaches know what they're doing. It's not their first time having to go through this, so we'll be fine.
It seems like with Brad and also with Tommy, they've both made big improvements since they first got here. What have you seen from those two guys, maybe when you first saw them when they got here to where they are now?
I mean, they're just guys that always want to get better, every day, day in, day out, learning from film, learning from the guy in front of them, learning from the coaches, just, taking an extra step each and every day just to get better.
You've obviously kind of defended against both of them. I mean, I know the game's a very small example or whatnot, but Ro's kind of a guy that gets kind of stayed in the pocket for most of the time, and Tommy kind of gets out and tries to, obviously make things happen with his feet as well. How is it different to defend those two guys?
They're just two different styles of quarterback. Obviously, with the guy getting outside of the pocket and running around is kind of a dual threat. You have to be ready for both the run and the pass. And for a guy that's a really good pocket passer, I mean, he's going to put the ball on the money most of the time. So it's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, football is football.